The page that you're looking at right now is the only surviving copy of a text that is known as the Gospel of the Acts of John. Now, if you don't know what the Gospel of the Acts of John is, in short, it is the little Gospel section that is embedded in a larger work that's called the Acts of John. I made a separate video about it before, so you can look at that if you want to know a little bit more about what the Acts of John is. But this particular section here that we're looking at is the first page of just the Gospel part of the Acts of John. And that's why some scholars call it the Gospel of the Acts of John. Now, as you can see, this is not an ancient manuscript. Rather, it's a medieval manuscript, a medieval-looking manuscript. And that's because this copy is from the year 1319. Now, if you know anything about the Acts of John, you would know that most scholars believe that the Acts of John was written back around the year 150 AD, or possibly as late as 300 AD, or something like that, or 250 AD. So this manuscript, this copy, is somewhere around 1,000 years newer, later, 1,000 years later than the original would have been written. But I acquired this scan from the Austrian National Library, and they were very kind enough to send me these pictures of it because I'm studying it in graduate school right now. And I thought I would share some of these pictures because it's very difficult to find pictures of this document online, whereas you can look at lots of other manuscripts like the Dead Sea Scrolls or the Nag Hammadi Library. You can find those on the websites of institutions that house those documents or have scanned them. But this particular text is very hard to find pictures of it. So I thought I would make a video in which we just look at the pages of the text and see what we can talk about just on a basic level. And I'm not a scholar of medieval manuscripts. I'm not very good at reading this Greek handwriting. Even though I know some Greek, this handwriting style, you need to be trained to read medieval handwriting like this. So I have the critical edition of the Gospel of the Acts of John with me, which I can check against this manuscript and kind of see where things are in the text. And so you can see that probably a scribe or monk must have been the one who copied this, because it just looks like the sort of thing that monks would be copying, a religious text. You can see some kind of hand or whatever this thing is over on the side, and some nice little artwork on the top. And I guess I'll scroll down some of the pages so that you can see what it looks like. There are about 9 pages total of this particular text. And it goes all the way down till the end of the gospel narrative. So this is the only text that preserves the whole thing. We have some quotations of the content of this text in the Acts of the Second Council of Nicaea, but they're really just small quotations of a few parts, and they really don't give us very much information at all. So substantially, as far as studying this actual source goes, this is the manuscript that we have to consult. As you can see, this is the bottom of the text. So let's go back to the top here and take a look at the first page again, because it's very interesting. The narrative of the Gospel of the Acts of John only starts here or so. This section at the top is the note from the scribe explaining what the text actually is. And you can look at the words and make out some of it. Like, you can see that this word is John, of course, John the Theologian, Ioannes ho Theologos, this just means John the Theologian. And of course, before it says the Holy John Theologian. And so what this scribe is saying, I sat down and made a little translation of it last night, and it says something like a narration of the amazing acts, or about the amazing acts of, and the vision which the Holy John the Theologian saw from our Lord Jesus Christ. So that's basically what this top part says. The scribe is just explaining what the text is. And then this page weaves the gospel narrative into a scene inside the rest of the Acts of John, but we won't talk about that right now. I'm just giving you a rough idea, an opportunity to see this text that pretty much nobody else gets to see. I had to order it myself from the actual library in which it is housed. And so I just figured I would put it out here and share it with you, and so that you can maybe have a chance to see it if you're interested in the text. And hopefully we'll be able to make a few more little studies of this document. I'm very interested in this document, and I'm studying it in graduate school. And so I hope you enjoyed this little survey, and I hope that you have a very nice day. See you later. Bye.